And so Naaman dips himself in the waters of death, down into death in the Jordan, and is raised to new life, and he's made clean. He's healed. And he's so grateful, he goes back to Elijah and says, can I give you a gift? I mean, he has all of these millions of dollars with it. Please, let me give you a gift. No, Elisha says, I'm a servant of God. No. And Naaman tries again, and Elisha refuses again. Well, let me give at least this. And so what does he give? Does he give something from the mainstream, grand, majestic thing that's going to last for eons and eons? No. Gives enough soil that can be drawn by 2 humble donkeys, mules. 2 humble mules. God's mercy comes in the margins. The people in the margins are the ones who are most able to see the love of God and in most need of the love of God. Jesus himself said, I've come to heal the sick, not the well. I have to be with the people in the margins, as he was constantly. And so that's the way God's love is. God's love speaks through and comes to those in the harshest of situations in life, those often with the least amount of power that is stolen from them, withheld from them. And God gives them new meaning and purpose. And the ones who have experienced the greatest healing, the ones who have been lifted up out of the greatest depths of despair, they are the ones with the greatest amount of what? Gratitude, thanksgiving, love, compassion, mercy, or in Galatians 5, fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, humility, and self-control, the marks of discipleship. Those of you from so many countries around the world, so many of you know what I'm talking about. Life can be very hard in Jamaica outside of those ritzy resorts where people play tennis and golf and sip little drinks with fruit and umbrellas in them by the sea. Just a few miles away, there is heart-wrenching poverty. Those of you from Latin America, and right now, this incredible pain and suffering that's happening from global warming, this one area where there were 2 back-to-back Category 4 hurricanes destroying life. And now there are people searching for new life. And those of you from the Congo. The Congo, lest we forget, is the place in the world where people earn the least amount of money. Per capita, they earn $1.32 a day. So many of you have seen the effects of genocide and war and political betrayal and poverty and sickness and abuse, violence, economic barriers. And you come here to this country to find a new life. And the past 4 years have not been easy, where you've been kept from family, bringing them over, kept from opportunity, given permission from the highest office in the land for people to abuse, be violent toward, kill people who are simply different from them, people who are in the margins instead of the mainstream, because they don't understand. My friends, you are the ones God uses. You are the ones whose testimony and beautiful spirit are so wonderful. God uses you mightily with your permission, because you know how great and wonderful the love of God is, far more than we do in the mainstream. Listen, those of us in churches like First Baptist, we are literally, the American Baptist churches are literally part of something called the Protestant mainstream. And yet at times now, the mainstream churches, it's as though they have leprosy. People don't want to have anything to do with them. And often we are providing answers to people with 1957 problems, to those in a world of 2021, and we don't relate. And so our churches are becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. But you Congolese, and so many of you, you have brought life and vitality and youth and such love of God to us. You are bringing renewal to us. You want me to prove it? I can. Ebushwa Alenga, you and I haven't met yet, but I've listened to the recorded interview of you by the music department here at Yale University. I've listened to it many times. And you have this beautiful song, Happy Day, and the joy is so wonderful. I have never heard a song of such beautiful, happy joy like this in my life, and it lights up my spirit. And if those of you, if you haven't heard it, go to our website, newly redesigned, I might add. Go to our website and click there on the Upendo's picture, and that video will come up on YouTube, or you can go under News, and it's now in there, under Ebushwa's name. And why? Why did you have such great happiness that day? Why? Because of the birth of a child. An innocent, wonderful, helpless child. A woman by the name of Brene Brown, who talks about great healing. Brene Brown says, grief is love with nowhere to go. Grief is love with nowhere to go, and so much loss that so many have been through, and a baby comes in the world, and suddenly there's a place for love to go and to come back. From a baby. And Naaman, when he comes up out of the water, what are his hands like? The skin is like that of a young child. And where is he? In the Jordan. Going back down through the Red Sea back into Egypt, into the Nile River, to a baby who would lead them, Moses. God's deliverance. It's mercy in the margins. Amen.